reminder, this is a purely English medium class, not English medium, but I'll give you support with certain words and even with certain sentences. Okay, my friends, first of all, according to my old tradition, we have to start with the questions. Once again, we will start with the 5 questions. Today, we have entered into industrial capitalism, the phase of industrial capitalism. But my friends, I'm always giving you suggestion. You will never forget what is my method, because this method will work. If you will move from topic to topic, we try to collect the information, so that will create a lot of problems. Yesterday, you people were asking me the question, and I was a bit perturbed because you people were just asking the factual, informative questions. Where I am a bit apprehensive, your attention should not be diverted to information from opinion, because I have to make your whole thinking pattern or whole process of preparation on, because it's based on concept and opinion, not on facts and information. So that's why I was a bit concerned. So today, and I hope you are once again returning to your old form, and that is conceptual topic. I know history can be, modern history can be divided into 4 parts. The first part was the history of 18th century, and we have already finished this part. Then we have entered into the second part, that is the history of colonialism. Even the history of colonialism can be divided into 3 segments, 3 parts. The first segment was the mercantile phase. Yesterday some of my friends have asked me the question, what is mercantile phase? That is called commercial phase. मैंने आपको बताया कि जिसको आप कैपिटलिज्म कहते हो, उसके भी 3 स्टेजेज हैं. पहला स्टेज है मर्केंटाइल या कमर्शियल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म, दूसरा है इंडस्ट्रियल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म, और तीसरा है फाइनेंशियल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म. What is the difference? What are the differences among the 3? In commercial phase of capitalism, you are collecting the goods from one region and selling the products to other regions and taking profit. So simple, that is the mercantile phase. मतलब आप वहाँ ट्रेड के थ्रू करते हो, ट्रेड के थ्रू कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेशन करते हो, वो क्या है? कमर्शियल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म और मर्केंटाइल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म. But once you are involved into production, so that is industrial phase. Because you know, when there was, you can say, the bundles of demands, you can say the demand was so intensified, through simply distribution, you cannot fulfill the demand. You have been involved into production as well. मतलब इतना ज्यादा डिमांड बढ़ गया कि केवल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से डिमांड पूरा नहीं हो सकता था, तो फिर कुछ जो ग्रुप्स थे, मर्चेंट्स थे, वो अपने आप को प्रोडक्शन में लगाया. तो हो गया इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, मॉडर्न फैक्ट्री सिस्टम आ गई. So that is the industrial phase of capitalism. Last one is the financial phase. What is the financial phase? Accumulation of capital due to too much industrialization or commercial activities. मतलब आप चीजों को प्रोड्यूस करते हो, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हो, ट्रेड करते हो, उसे कैपिटल का एक्यूमुलेशन होता है. तो फिर एक फेज ऐसा आता है कि आप कैपिटल से कैपिटल कमाने की सोचते हो. हाउ टू अर्न कैपिटल थ्रू कैपिटल. दैट इज द फाइनेंशियल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म. बट माय फ्रेंड्स, कीप इन योर माइंड, व्हाट इज कैपिटलिज्म फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ a mother country or metropolitan state. Which is metropolitan state or mother country? That who develops a colony is known as mother state or metropolitan country. And which is being ruled, that is a colony. So what is capitalism from the viewpoint of a metropolitan state or the mother state? So same is, you know, the colonialism in a colony. मतलब अगर metropolitan state में mercantile phase of capitalism होगा, तो यहाँ mercantile phase of colonialism होगा colony. वहाँ अगर industrial phase of capitalism होगा, तो यहाँ industrial phase of colonialism होगा. और वहाँ अगर financial phase of capitalism होगा, तो यहाँ financial phase of colonialism होगा. So you have to keep it in your mind. Now, my friends, I am moving to the questions, and 5 questions are just awaiting you. And you, smart people, you can say brilliant guys, you will definitely answer my question. So I am just moving from this point. Question number 1. Which of the following provisions were related to the Regulating Act of 1773? 1. Establishment of the Supreme Court. 2. Formation of Board of Control. Point 3. Formation of 3-member Council of the Governor General. There are 3 choices. Code 1, A 1 only, B 1 and 2, C 1 and 3, D 1, 2 and 3. My friends, be fast and try to answer my question. There are the 4 choices. Be fast. Very good. Brilliant answer. A is the correct answer, because provision number 2, Board of Control in Pitt's India Act, you know. Likewise, formation of a 3-member, because in Regulating Act, 4-member council. You people are smart guy. I hope you will answer all 5 out of 5 questions. Question number 2. Assertion and reasoning. A. British Orientalists glorified the Indian past and culture. The British Orientalists glorified the Indian past and culture. Reasoning. They tried to prove that the glorious ancient past of India could be restored only under the British patronage. A. Likewise, formation of A is not the right choice. In A, arts would be the correct explanation for A. But here, British Orientalists glorified the Indian past and culture. This is neither evidence nor the cause. This is another statement. Even D is wrong. It is a technical question. So I am a bit apprehensive. You people may commit a mistake, but I am not having any complaint against you, because this question is so technically difficult. Nice. B, yeah? B. Yes, B is the correct choice. Why? Nice, just keep it on that. British Orientalists glorified the Indian past and culture. There could have been such a statement which might have been either the cause or the evidence. In that situation, there would have been the A answer. But this here, what is in R, that is neither cause nor evidence. This is independent statement. They tried to prove that the glorious ancient part of India could be restored only under the British patronage. So that's why this is the independent, this statement is independent, and both are correct. It is also correct. So choice B is the correct answer. Mr. Ankur, most of the students have done what? B. Yes, smart guy. Question number 3. The permanent settlement of 1793 had the provision for jamindars to issue pattas to the cultivators. But generally, jamindars didn't follow it. The reason was A. Peasants had faith in their jamindars. B. There was no government control over the jamindars. C. It was the responsibility of the British government. And D. The cultivators were not interested in receiving pattas. My friend, here I have to make you clear. I am helping you. अभी आपको confusion हो जाए. इसमें आप ये कहा जाता है, स्टेटमेंट है कि परमानेंट सेटलमेंट ऑफ 1793 में एक प्रोविजन था कि जमींदार को अपने टेनेंट को एक कंपलसरी पट्टा इशू करना चाहिए. क्यों? how could the government, suppose if the debt situation will come, and the Jamindar will try to confiscate the property of tenants, a tenant, peasant, confiscate the property, you can say arbitrarily. So then who will decide? How will it be decided whether it was a true tenant or not? अब जमींदार मान लीजिए किसी और टेनेंट को वहां बैठा देगा, उसको भगा देगा, कहेगा यही मेरा टेनेंट है, 15 years से यही था. तो गवर्नमेंट का कहना है कि नहीं, पहले पट्टा इशू करिए. पट्टा का मतलब हुआ कि आप एक एविडेंस दीजिए, एक पेपर, जिसमें ये क्लियरली लिखा हो कि टेनेंट है, इसका हक है उस जमीन पर. This is the statement, and in this question, भाई ये चार choices हैं. अब pigeons had मतलब but to the cultivators, but generally जमींदार didn't follow it. The reason was, मतलब जमींदार को कहा गया गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा कि आप पट्टा दीजिए, पर किंतु जमींदार ने इसको फॉलो नहीं किया, इग्नोर किया. Didn't follow, जमींदार इसको फॉलो नहीं किया, सॉरी नॉट इग्नोर किया, फॉलो नहीं किया. इसका क्या कारण था? Price number, the pigeons had faith in their जमींदार. मतलब इसमें ये कहा कि pigeons को अपने जमींदार पर faith था कि नहीं भी देंगे तो कोई नहीं दिया, आप रखिए सर, कुछ नहीं. B, there was no government control over the जमींदार. मतलब जब गवर्नमेंट ने कहा तो जमींदार को कि आप कर दीजिए, लेकिन जमींदार ने गवर्नमेंट की बात को सीरियसली नहीं लिया, और जमींदार बहुत सीरियस भी नहीं था, और गवर्नमेंट उसके प्रति बहुत वाचफुल नहीं रहा, इसको देना चाहिए. See, it was the responsibility of the British government. तो ये British government की responsibility थी कि वो पट्टा दे. And D, the cultivators were not interested in receiving पट्टा. Cultivators को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं था पट्टा रिसीव करने. क्वेश्चन तो टेक्निकल है, और यूपीएससी में this question has already been placed in the question paper of UPSC. So question is technically difficult, and my student, but you are brilliant. You can answer the question. Be fast. Yes, a smart guy. Correct choice. B. B is the correct choice. Oh. Yes, sir, I'm listening. After the conquest of Bengal, the British company didn't bring any major change in the administrative structure of Bengal. So after the conquest of Bengal, the British company didn't bring any major change in the administrative structure of Bengal. Listening. The British considered the prevailing Mughal administrative setup to be efficient. They are the two statements. They are the four choices. Be fast, my friends. You can do it. No, my friend. Be clear. Yeah, the answer should be C. Because the government was not confused about the fact that the Mughal system was more efficient, more good, and a better system. No. There is no scope for B. There is scope is either for A or for C, which is C. And the government didn't bother to bring the change, so that's why government avoided. The company's government, the company's government was not interested in bringing reforms and change, so that's why it avoided. It does not mean that the company's government was confused about the fact that the Mughal model was the more efficient model. This was not the case. As the company was not interested in bringing reforms, so that's why the company avoided the reform. This was the reason. While other European powers failed to stand against Napoleon, which of the following governor general defended the British Empire in India? Now you have to find out when Napoleon was likely to invade India via Egypt. So who was governor general that countered Napoleon at that time? Who was the governor general in India? Please be fast, my friends. Yes, Lord Wellesley. This is the right choice. Okay, good. The smart guys. Question was very difficult, but you people have done well, performed very well. My friends, I'm just coming to this diagram, and you are in industrial capitalism. Yesterday I have just made it clear. First of all, once again, I have to make watchful about the diagram. So that's why, my friend. Just 1 minute. My friend, today, actually, here I am doing some work, and I am making you people to think over that. My friend, here the point is, what is the basic British objective? Diagram here is, in colonialism, you are in the phase of colonialism, okay? Colonialism. And in colonialism, you have just reached up to which phase? Industrial phase. Industrial phase. What is the time period in industrial phase? Time period is 1813 to 1858. Okay. Now, what is the objective? So let me clarify the objective. Let me clarify the objective. Objective is to convert India as a market for British manufactured goods and importer of raw materials. Okay. What is the background? I have to discuss with you people. Actually, in London, basically there was the rise of actually what you know as industrial revolution. So that was a deliberate process, or you can say organized or planned process in other countries. But at least in Britain, what you know as industrial revolution, so that occurred accidentally. Because there was the heavy demand of the goods in colonies, and merchants could not give supply through collection of the products, or you can say through collecting the products. So that's why a group of merchants just preferred production itself. So it started to produce, thus developed industrial revolution gradually. And you might have heard the proverb, necessity is the mother of invention. So as the demand started, so there was technological upgradation, and there started the modern factory system. So there emerged industrial capitalism in Britain, and there were some important hubs. And this hub was, you can say, visible at London, Manchester, Glasgow, and Birmingham. They were the industrial hub. So there was the rise of an industrial capitalist class, and it was much more powerful. Sorry, my student, you are smart enough, right? Convert India as a market for the British manufactured goods and exporter. Yes, exporter of raw materials. It is a great consolation for me because my guys at least understand and well aware of the intricacies. Very good, commendable. The exporter of raw materials. Actually, what happened, be mentally alert and try to understand. वहाँ पर बड़े-बड़े इंडस्ट्रियल हब्स खुल गए, एक इंडस्ट्रियल कैपिटलिस्ट क्लास आ गया, and industrial capitalist class was much more powerful. And earlier, the East India Company, so that represented the, you can say, mercantile class, or you can say mercantile capitalism, because it was guided by a chartered company. So earlier also, you can say a lot of objections were raised against the trade monopoly of the British East India Company in India and East. But East India Company was powerful enough. It was having its, you can say, the strong economic power and strength. It used to give bribes to members of parliament in Britain. The members of parliament would not take action against the British company. But this time, the British company had to face a more strong adversary, and this was the industrial capitalist, who was economically more powerful and formidable. So this industrial capitalists were in a position to give a larger amount of bribe to the members of the parliament. So finally, under its influence, the members of the parliament just introduced the Charter Act of 1813. The British Parliament legislated the Charter Act of 1813. You may ask me the question, what is charter? Charter is some sort of, you can say, ordinance, or you can say charter is an authority which was provided to the British company for 20 years because it is called charter. It is some sort of act. मतलब इसको चार्टर कहा गया और ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट ने एक चार्टर पारित किया 1813 में, and on the basis of the charter the trade monopoly of the East India Company in East and India that was abolished. Although it could still enjoy its monopoly in Chinese trade and tea trade for next 20 years up to 1833, but its trade monopoly in India was abolished, and free trade was imposed over India. Means Indian market was forcefully opened by the British Parliament for the British manufactured goods, and as the British manufactured goods had to be exported in India, so India had to provide grains and agrarian products as well as the raw materials for British industries. So total relation between the Britain and India changed on the basis of industrial capitalism. Now here important point is that what is the role of the British company? So because British company was a commercial company, but the British government, although snatched the right of trade monopoly from the British company, but the administration of India was placed under the control of British company itself. British company had to run the government of India, the British company. Although at that time, the industrialists from Lancashire and Manchester, they were creating pressure over the government. Please abolish even administrative power of the British company and make British company free and take the charge of Indian administration yourself. The British government should take initiative for seizing and capturing, or you can say controlling the Indian administration as well. But at that time, at this turn of history, the British government was not ready to take this responsibility. So this responsibility was kept into the hand of the British company. But my friend, you can ask me the question: why the British company will rule? What is the motive and objective behind that? Because British company, it had already been enjoying the trade monopoly. So trade monopoly was already abolished. So what is the incentive for the British company in rule in India? My friend, keep in your mind, after all, it was a modern company. And company's single motive is profit for shareholders. And British company gave assurance, a British government gave assurance to the British company. You have patience. Involve yourself in administration in India. And you will be provided, and your shareholders would be offered 10.5% of profit per annum. And this profit would be ensured through the revenue of India. The revenue account of India will be up, you can say the profit, 10.5% profit to your shareholders will enjoy the profit, and you have to concentrate over administration. Then what is the problem with the company? Because the company shareholders is already getting the amount. मेरी बात आप समझ गए होंगे, मतलब ब्रिटिश कंपनी का ट्रेड मोनोपोली एबलिश हो गया, लेकिन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो इंडिया का राइट था वो कंपनी को छोड़ दिया गया। बाकी ब्रिटिश कैपिटलिस्ट बोलते थे कि ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आप खुद अपने हाथों में लीजिए, उन्होंने कहा नहीं, वी विल नॉट टेक द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कंपनी के पास रहा, तो आप कहेंगे कंपनी को क्या इंसेंटिव रहा? तो कंपनी को इंसेंटिव ये था कि आपके शेयर होल्डर को 10.5% इंडियन रेवेन्यू अकाउंट से जाता रहेगा, आप रेट छोड़िए, अपने आप को आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पर कंसंट्रेट करिए। सो दिस वाज द मोटिव। So in this way, now my friend, it is, I have already told you earlier, basically what you know as colonialism, it is basically an economic relation. So this is the economic objective of colonialism now. But it was going to influence the political, administrative, social, cultural, all the structures. So that's why I have taken here the first one, because there will be the 5 rows. In this diagram, there will be 5 rows. In the first row, political. In second row, in second row, administrative. In third row, economic. In fourth row, social. And in fifth row, culture, which is already I have given to you. In first row, to bring more and more Indian states under direct control through annexation. So here you will find the basic emphasis of the British company is imperialist expansion. So today this is my target. Because if India had to develop as the market for the British manufactured goods and supplier of raw materials, so all the governor generals from Lord Hastings to Lord Dalhousie, they would be inclined to make unbridled annexation, unrestricted annexation of Indian states. Because only that region which was under the direct control, the British manufactured goods would have been promoted. The raw materials could have been collected. So my student, now you have to underline the change in the British policy. Just recall the mercantile phase. In mercantile phase, the British company was not in a mood to take more responsibility. The single objective of the British company was what? Just try to understand, my friend. The British company tried to avoid the war and annexation as much as possible. Although it had to fight some wars, it concluded some treaties, and it had to make some sort of annexation as well. But you can say larger objective of the British company was in mercantile phase, in the first phase which we have finished, to avoid war and annexation as much as possible. But during this period, now all the governor generals were inclined to make further annexation, more and more annexation. They became just like the shark to devour as much region as you can, so that the British manufactured goods could have been promoted there and raw materials might have been collected from there. मतलब यहाँ आपको बताया जा रहा है कि ये जो इकोनॉमिक मोटिव है, आप इस मोटिव को यहाँ देखिए और उस मोटिव से आप हमेशा इसको कंपेयर करिए. अब देखिए ये जो मोटिव है ये बेसिक ऑब्जेक्टिव यही है, एंड इस ऑब्जेक्टिव के तहत अब इसकी पॉलिटिकल पॉलिसी चेंज होगी. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पॉलिसी क्या होगी? जस्ट ऑब्जर्व टू ब्रिंग सबस्टेंशियल चेंज इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रक्चर. व्हाई? बिकॉज इंडिया हैड टू डेवलप द मार्केट फॉर British manufactured goods and supplier of raw materials, and grains. Then you find an economic, the whole Indian economy had to be transformed to the tune of British industrial capitalism, which I will discuss in the economic part. The whole Indian economy had to be transformed at the tune of British industrial capitalism. And in social field, reforms. Why? 80% colonial motive and 20% ideological influence from Britain, that is liberalism and utilitarian ideas, which I will discuss with you. But 80% industrial capitalism. Why? Because British were up and doing to introduce English education in India. Although objective behind English education was more than one. But one important objective was to create and to produce a generation of Indians which could be Indians simply in blood and color, but British in taste, temperament and morality. So this generation of Indians could have worked as a market for British manufactured goods. Actually, so far as you are not going to create a cultural milieu for your products would not be sold in India. Who will purchase your products? Those Indians will purchase the products who are having the Western taste and temperament, which are having the, you can say, similarity with the British taste. तो अगर इंडिया को आपको मार्केट डेवलप करना है तो जनरेशन ऑफ इंडियंस को इंग्लिश एजुकेशन सिखाना होगा, और इंग्लिश एजुकेशन इंडिया तभी एक्सेप्ट करेगा जब आप उसको इंडियन सोसाइटी को ट्रेडिशनल स्ट्रक्चर से बाहर निकालना है. इफ इंडियन सोसाइटी वुड बी किक्ड आउट फ्रॉम इट्स ट्रेडिशनल स्ट्रक्चर, ओनली देन इफ इंडियन सोसाइटी कुड हैव बीन जस्ट पुल्ड आउट फ्रॉम द ट्रेडिशनल स्ट्रक्चर, ओनली देन इंडिया कुड वर्क एज ए मार्केट फॉर ब्रिटिश मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. अदरवाइज to bring Indians out from the traditional structure and make India market for British manufactured goods. Because whenever you are taking Indians from the traditional structure, they will accept English education. And once they will accept English education, India will work as a generation of Indians will be created that will have the natural inclination towards the British products. This social motive hai, and cultural and liberalism and utilitarian idea which developed in Britain and which is going to influence the Indian policy as well. And liberal and utilitarian ideas were advocating for breeding, for changing. You can very well juxtapose these ideas with that of, you can very well juxtapose these ideas with Orientalism. Because demand of Orientalism was to maintain traditionalism in India, to maintain status quo in India, to maintain, to glorify Indian past and culture. But they are the great critic of Indian past and culture, and they were advocating for reforms and change. तो कहीं ना कहीं तुम देखोगे ये रिफॉर्म्स और चेंज के लिए एडवोकेट कर रहे हैं, उसके पीछे भी ऑब्जेक्टिव वही है. देखो, इस ऑब्जेक्टिव को नहीं भूलना है. Because colonial relation is basically an economic relation, but it was going to influence political, administrative, social, culture, or structure. But basically, it is an economic relation. That's right. Now time has come. I will observe the political structure. I will mention about all the governor generals. Although you people are so smart and so brilliant, I have already given you the sufficient. The second phase of British colonial industrial phase. You people might have even read at your own, and you are prepared now. But Lord Hastings, this Nepalese and Sikkim is lost, and then we will go through it. But here I will make a structure from Lord Hastings to Dalhousie, and I will discuss it so that it will be complete and you will be more confident. But my friend, to make me clear, if you understand, have you understood this industrial capitalism and how did economic relation was going to influence political, administrative, social, and cultural structure? Once you will assure me, then I will go to discuss about government generals. Mr. Ankur, ask my students, are they okay? Did they understand? क्या आप लोग समझ गए हो कि कैसे colonialism में basically economic relation होता है, आर्थिक संबंध होता है, लेकिन political, social, cultural structure को भी influence करता है. How did industrial capitalism would influence the British policy towards India? Okay, my guys, you are brilliant, so I'm confident you will do. Yeah. Okay. Anas, Regulating Act is just, you can say, it was legislated by the British Parliament. Okay. And even Charter Act was legislated by the British Parliament. But Anas, this Regulating Act was putting regulation over the activity of the British company as a mercantile company. But this Charter Act gave the British company the power to rule in India, the authority to rule in India for next 20 years. Charter इसलिए कहा गया क्योंकि उसने ब्रिटिश कंपनी को 20 years तक, मतलब 1813 से 33 तक, जैसे आप तो चार्टर नहीं पढ़े होगे. The last I have listed the Charter Act of 1813, 1833, 1853. I have given all the Charter Act. I have given you the complete PDF. It is a complete notes you can see. मैं खुद इस बात के लिए बहुत ये होता हूँ कि आपको कोई भी relevant information ना छूटे. You will go to the Charter Act, you will come to realize that the first charter of 1813, it was given for 20 years. Then in 1833, the second one charter, it was once again given for 20 years. In 1853, it was for a temporary period, not for 20 years. Otherwise, in 1858, the government could not have made the takeover of Indian administration even after the Great Revolt of 1857. So then the British government had to wait for the 1873 to capture the power, to take hold of the power. But as it was for a temporary period, so that's why the government could have taken the charge after 1857. And in 1858, the British Crown started to rule in India directly. So that is the point. Charter Act means the authority to rule for the British company for next 20 years. आदर्श मैंने पूरा तो इंडस्ट्रियल फील्ड कहीं ऑब्जेक्टिव समझा है. ऑब्जेक्टिव यह है आपको देखो उनके पास जैसा हैमर होता है ब्रिटिश के पास वैसा ही कील यहाँ ठोकते हैं. जब उनका कमर्शियल फेज था, मर्केंटाइल फेज था, तब उन्होंने यहाँ के प्रोडक्ट्स को लूटा. अब जब इंडस्ट्रियल फेज आया तो चाहते हैं कि उनके यहाँ एक्चुअली इंडस्ट्रियल स्टार्टेड इन ब्रिटेन, so they started the mass production. तो ब्रिटेन वाज इन सर्च ऑफ द मार्केट. कोई भी जो इंडस्ट्रियल सोसाइटी होती है उसको अपने प्रोडक्ट को बेचने के लिए बाजार चाहिए होता है. दे हैव टू यूज इंडिया एज द मार्केट. इंडिया हमारे गुड्स को परचेज करे. हम इतने इंडस्ट्रियल गुड्स को कहां बेचेंगे? और बदले में इंडिया हमें ग्रेन्स दे, क्योंकि वहां पर अर्बनाइजेशन भी हो रहा है. एडवांस अर्बनाइजेशन इज गोइंग ऑन. So Britain was not self-sufficient from the viewpoint of grain production. In the matter of, you can say, grains, Britain was not self-reliant. So the Britain had to import grains from India and raw materials like cotton, like jute, raw cotton, etc. यही ऑब्जेक्टिव है उनका. Yes, indigo cultivation was related mainly to industry. What is the question? Question is not clear. Make your question clear. The British Parliament was the final authority. जैसे तुम्हारा parliament, your parliament can make laws, so the British Parliament can make the laws like charter laws or the charter act. The British Parliament was the final authority to issue the charter. अरे भाई कंपनी को तुम लोग क्यों अप्लाई करते हो? कंपनी was suffering from deficit because the company's fund was misappropriated by its own employees. The employees who were working, they were promoting private trade, and company's trade were relatively neglected. So company was undergoing a phase of financial, you can say, commercial deficit. That's what. I will discuss in the last. To pass now, wait. In the rule number 5, presently I have to deal with the rule number 1, that is imperial expansion under different governor generals, and it was having the direct motive and direct relation with it. It is irrelevant question. Actually, this is a colonial structure. So they are pretending to maintain the rule of law, but in true sense, they were not maintaining the rule of law. Yeah. To rule India, to carry the administration, because the trade monopoly ended, so now company had to concentrate over the administration of India under different governor generals. Tushar, if you might have followed my instruction, you might have gone through NCERT book, the chapter number first. Tushar, even today, I will suggest you go through the first chapter of NCERT book. There clearly has been mentioned why dates are important. Why dates are not important now? Because today, the most of the history is the political, economic, social, cultural history. Where there is the socio-cultural history, so change is more important than dates. Even if you are not keeping in your mind the dates, it hardly matters. But at least you have to maintain the chronological events, because which event happened first and then what. Otherwise, that will create a lot of confusion for you. No. Subra, you are confused here. Please, in Regulating Act, move British Crown to gain in charge, nothing else. In Regulating Act, for the first time, the British Parliament started to intervene into the matter of the company, and the British Parliament tried to make the company accountable to the British government for the first time. The company could not arbitrarily. Rather, company had to comply with certain rules of the government act. So this occasion of Regulating Act became the first occasion in which the government could intervene into the matter of the company. Nothing else. So far, the question of that taking the charge of the government is concerned. So, that's very low. This became possible only in 1838. Could I move further now, Mr. Ankur? Forgive me, I am giving you so many examples of answer writing. What is the rules of answer writing I am giving you? Even today I will discuss about answer writing. To start the question, you can say with a thesis statement and try to prove it with different examples. I have given you the several examples of answer writing, and I will give you so many examples in future as well. So have questions, please. Rome was not built in a day. It needs some sort of practice, and if you people will not give me the time to work, then how can I solve the problem? Now, as the first political, so you have to recall the governor generals and the war. So take the first governor general. Governor general. The first is Lord Hastings. What is the time? Time period is 1813 to 23. How many wars? 2 wars. One is heard. Firstly is Anglo-Nepali War. Anglo-Nepali War, 1814 to 16. 1814 to 16, Anglo-Nepali War. Here you find the Treaty of Sugauli. You have to keep this in your mind. The Treaty of Sugauli. My friends, even presently, you might have heard about a lot of controversy. Kala Pani, for example, sometimes the Nepalese government is making the claim over this region and that region. You have the boon of understanding the Treaty of Sugauli, which was signed in 1816. Actually, what happened in war? There were certain border clashes between the British company and Nepal. Nepal fought the first war against the British company in whole of its career, and once being defeated, then it became loyal to the British till the last. So this war commenced between 1814 and 1815. From this side, the commander was Sir Iyer. Second one war is the Third Anglo-Maratha War. Third Anglo-Maratha War. That is 1817 to 1818. 1817 to 1818. My students, I have already given you the PDF study material as well. You people are requested to go through my PDF twice. Once before attending the class and second time after attending the class. You find actually the bone of Maratha power was already broken. The backbone of Maratha power was already broken in the second Anglo-Maratha war itself. Now you can say Bajirao II was a Peshwa who had already bound with the British on the basis of the subsidiary alliance. So likewise even Bhosle, Appa Sahib Bhosle and Holkar all were bound to British and bound to the British on the basis of the same subsidiary alliance. So the British used to fleece out larger quantity of money from these states. So these states were now quite offended with the continuous demand from the side of the British. In 1818, finally, all the three powers decided to invade on British suddenly. So you find King Bajirao II at Pune, Holkar at Indore, and Appa Sahib Bhosle on Nagpur. So all the three invaded the British regency. Regency means the headquarters of the British regent. So this became the pretext for the Third Anglo-Maratha War. Lord Hastings was at that time Governor General, and his soldiers had just returned from after the suppression of Pindaris. Pindaris were the plunderers and the looters. They were they were maintaining some sort of secret brigades and they were doing plundering work. So Lord Hastings, just after suppressing Pindaris, he moved his soldiers against Marathas, and one by one all the three defeated in the Battle of Sesti, in the Battle of Khirki, in the Battle of Sikalwati, and finally the Maratha power were suppressed. And surprisingly, you can say for the first time, the Maratha Confederacy, which had existed from the time of Balaji Bajirao, the British dismissed the Maratha Confederacy, demobilized the Maratha Confederacy, and all the members were made free. Peshawar region was Pune. Peshawar region was annexed by the British, and Peshwa Bajirao II was pensioned off. He was sent to Bithur to lead a life of asylum, or you can say just take the refuge at Bithur near Kanpur. And he was pensioned off, and he had to receive an amount of pension 8 lakh rupees per annum. So this was the Bajirao II, just recall. And it was his son Nana Sahib, when the amount which had been given to him was stopped by the British, the amount of the pension. So Nana Sahib turned against the British in the court of Delhi. So when the Peshawar region was annexed, and a smaller part was separated, and there the old, some successor from the Shivaji family was, you can say, restored on the throne in some region, and most of the regions were annexed. And then in 1818 there was the formation of Bombay presidency, because the Peshawar region has to be annexed and it has to be attached with Bombay region of the British. It was attached to the Bombay region of the British, and then there was the formation of Bombay presidency. Ankur, I'm asking one question from my student. You people are supposed to answer my question. When was Madras presidency constituted? When was Madras presidency was created or constituted? Please answer my question. Earlier than Bombay or after Bombay presidency? Before. And you mention the date, at least the name of Governor General who created. Yes, right. Brilliant student. 1801. After the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, when Tipu Sultan was eliminated and his region was annexed, so it was Lord Wellesley who initiated the creation of Madras presidency in 1881. And after Third Anglo-Maratha War in 1818, there was the creation of Bombay presidency. Brilliant answer. Ankur, just inform me. The only one student has given the answer, one meaning. Maximum. Okay. Then smart guys. Okay, no problem at all. So that is Lord Hastings. Then my student moved to another Governor General. Who is that? You have heard the name. Lord Amherst. Lord Amherst, 1823. Lord Amherst, 1823 to 28. A major war has taken place during this period. That is the first Anglo why? Because of the Anglo-Burmese War. Anglo-Burmese War, time period 1824 to 26, and there was the Treaty of Yandovo. Treaty of Yandovo in 1826. So my students, actually, you might have heard about actually what is this. In fact, Burma was in the eastern part of India, easternmost part in the, you can say, east of northeast, So actually the British was having its greedy plans over the Burma, because for the production of timber and many other products, the Burma was exclusively known, some mineral materials as well. And Assam was under its control, After the British picked up the quarrel, Lord Amherst with Burmese people and Burmese merchants, and then finally you can say it became the pretext for the first Anglo-Burmese War. And Assam was taken. Assam was annexed by the British in 1826. This was the end of Ahom rule in Assam. You might have heard about the Ahom rule, you might have heard about Ahom. So Ahom rule started from 1228. And after nearly 600 years, well, Ahoms were the very powerful guys. They fought even against Mughals, Jahangir, Aurangzeb, but finally it was annexed by the British, Assam. And then some Tena Sirim and some part, the Burma had to lose, and Burma had to give to the British company a lot of commercial concessions. But the my friends, Ahom rule का नाम आप लोग जानते होंगे, और असम को ब्रिटिश ने अनेक्स किया और सम रीजन तेना सीरीम वगैरह कुछ कुछ नाम है जो बर्मा को भी किल करना पड़ा, बर्मा को भी सबमिट करना पड़ा ब्रिटिश कंपनी। सो इट वाज अ ग्रेट सक्सेस फॉर द कंपनी। तो माय स्टूडेंट्स, आई हैव गिवन द नेम ऑफ दिस गवर्नर जनरल। अब नाउ आई एम giving you the information about that is after Lord Amherst, William Bentinck. William Bentinck. What is the time period of William Bentinck? So in 1828 to 35. At the time of William Bentinck, my friend, no war. And William Bentinck is basically known for reforms. But what I have told you earlier, here I am dealing with William Bentinck as in political field. What was his achievement in political field? The William Bentinck, although he didn't wage any major war, but William Bentinck is notorious for annexing some region as well. One region in Mysore, annexation of Mysore. Annexation of Mysore in 1831. From British point of view, my friend, you have to be careful about Mysore. You can ask me the question, why Mysore? Because Mysore belonged to Tipu Sultan and Wellesley has already conquered Mysore in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. This is another thing. But I have just given you the information that after annexation of Mysore, the British earmarked some region, and this region was offered to some successor from the old Odear dynasty, from Vijayanagara dynasty, so that the British could make a claim to have restored the old Hindu king. So that's why you can say it was given to the Odear dynasty. So it was this created estate by the British company, which was once again annexed by William Bentinck in 1891. And from British point of view, my friends, one information is that, what is the message, Mr. Cole? What is the message? Yeah. So, the Mysore from British point of view, you have to be careful about the fact about the Mysore, because after 50 years, Lord Ripon, in 1881, will return this Mysore to its old dynasty. After 50 years. So from British point of view, that can be important. Apart Mysore is important, simply keep in your mind Mysore. Otherwise, even Central Kachar, Northern Kachar, Jaintia, some other regions will also annexed, but ignore it. Simply Mysore, keep in your mind. Point of here, Fourth, that is Auckland. Auckland, 1836 to 42. And this is known for First Afghan War. First Anglo-Afghan War. The First Afghan War. 1839 to 41. And my friend, very interesting story. Actually, this was the first Afghan war, and always Afghan became a great fiasco for the British. Because, always the issue of Afghanistan, because once I have delivered a lecture on Afghanistan, the graveyard of, superpowers. Graveyard of superpowers in Afghanistan. So whenever the British moved to Afghanistan, its full adventure to Afghanistan became a fiasco. And throughout 19th century, my friend, I will teach you in world history part, there is the great game, that is called the great game. But in the whole of the world history part, you will come to know, the whole story is known as the great game. Because the Russians and British both were trying to vying with each other in order to assert their hegemony over Afghanistan. So Afghanistan became a bone of contention between the British and Russian power. So there is a term given in case of British policy towards Afghanistan, Russophobia. British were suffering from Russophobia. And the British hamesha Afghanistan se obsessed रहता था. Because Russia was always trying to penetrate India, and India used to be the most precious jewel of the British crown at that time. After losing America, British were depending over India. So India was the dependent country for the Britain. And the Britain was always possessing too much. British were just having a feeling of a strong possessiveness towards India. Then Russia tried to either penetrate India either through Tibet region or through Afghanistan region. So British always tried to put a block against Afghanistan. It was in this case, you can say, actually what happened in Afghanistan, I have to brief you. In fact, after Ahmad Shah Abdali, I have already discussed about that. So Ahmad Shah Abdali's successor was Jaman Shah. He was a powerful ruler. So up to Jaman Shah, it could have been maintained. But in Afghanistan, the old tribal feuds are there, Afghan court was divided on the basis of party politics or factionalism. So there were two factions. So the son of Jaman Shah, Shah Shuja was, you can say, placed on the throne earlier. But another faction just expelled him and placed on the throne a rival ruler, that was Shah Muhammad. So Shah Shuja, after having been frustrated, he fled from Afghanistan with some of his guards and members of the family. And he carried with him the famous Kohinoor diamond. A Kohinoor diamond is having its own interesting story, The Kohinoor diamond was unearthed from a mine of Golconda. When at the time of Alauddin Khalji, Malik Kafur carried an expedition to South India, to Warangal. The ruler of Warangal just submitted this Kohinoor diamond to him. Malik Kafur just, you can say, took this diamond and carried this diamond up to Delhi, and then he gifted it to Alauddin Khalji. So it was placed in the treasury of Delhi Sultanate. After disintegration of Delhi Sultanate, when did it slip into the hand of the ruler of Gwalior, I don't know, but it became the preserve of the Gwalior state under Man Singh Tomar. And at the time of Mughals, when Humayun invaded Gwalior and he brought a military barricade around his fort, so then Man Singh Tomar just submitted this Kohinoor diamond. And Humayun once again carried it to Babur and submitted it to Babur, but Babur gifted it to Humayun himself. It hardly matters. अब हुमायूं के पास रहे कोहिनूर डायमंड या बाबर के पास रहे, जाना तो मुगल ट्रेजरी में ही है, but it was preserved in Mughal treasury. When Nadir Shah invaded India in 1739, so Nadir Shah carried with him this famous Kohinoor diamond to Iran. And then after disintegration of Persian Empire, after death of Nadir Shah, then it slipped into the hand of Afghans, and Ahmad Shah Abdali, and Shah Shuja brought it to India again. And then the Ranjit Singh, he was a Sikh ruler. So So Ranjit Singh was a Sikh ruler, and Ranjit Singh didn't extend help to Shah Shuja, but he was clever enough to appropriate this Kohinoor diamond and kept it with into his treasury. So in this Kohinoor diamond was appropriated by the Sikh ruler Ranjit Singh. So in this way it was moving on, and finally the British will carry it to Buckingham Palace. Recently in 2015, 14, there was a Oxford lecture by Shashi Tharoor, and Shashi Tharoor demanded this Kohinoor diamond from the British in his lecture. So British, and you can say there is William Dalrymple, he has composed a test Kohinoor diamond. And once the Kohinoor diamond was just, you can say, fell into political conversation, so a number of claimants were standing up there. Iran made a claim, Afghanistan made another claim, India is already a claimant, major claimant, India was herself. And even Pakistan was making the claim. Yeah, it has been taken by the British from the port of Lahore of Ranjit Singh. So it belonged to Pakistan. So in this way, he is making the claim. Anyway, so Shuja came to India and Shuja sought support from British as well. So British found it a godsend opportunity to intervene into the matter of Afghanistan and to restore on the throne of Afghanistan a friendly king that could have been a bulwark against the Russian expansion. So he sent 16,500 soldiers with Shuja in order to restore his throne. And at that time, British, Shah Shuja and even Sikh ruler Ranjit Singh signed a treaty. According to the treaty, Ranjit Singh had to send his military reinforcement along with the British in order to help Shuja. But Ranjit Singh proved smart enough. Ranjit Singh virtually, you can say, befooled the British, and his soldiers didn't move to Afghanistan. Their soldiers stopped at Peshawar, which was his own region. And then Shuja was carried on to Afghanistan by the British army alone. British army restored on his throne, and everything was okay. And then even the British officers were developed a sense of complacency. The climate of Afghanistan was very suitable for them, so they started to enjoy in the value of Afghanistan. They even didn't try to build the forts for their future safety, and they developed a sense of complacency that there is no danger from the side of Afghanistan. But Afghans were already, you can say, they were boiling with rage, very secretly. And on some night, they suddenly attacked on the British camp. British were caught unawares. वो तैयार नहीं थी, अचानक से पकड़े गए. And all the 60,000 total soldiers were 16,500. Among the 16,500 soldiers, 16,499 soldiers were. Dr. Bragg was simply scared, and he had to carry a letter in the name of Auckland. And in this letter, there was a clear-cut threat from the side of Afghanistan. The British would never intervene in the internal matter of Afghanistan. So it was a big fiasco for the British company and a personal blow to the prestige of its Governor General Auckland. Then comes the turn of Ellenborough. The time period is 1842 to 44. At this time, you will find annexation of Sindh. Amirs of Sindh maintained the friendly relation with the British. There was no reason to annex Sindh. But possibly there were two factors, because the British lost Afghanistan. So British tried to set their foot in the vicinity of Afghanistan, and that was so that they could fight against the Russians if the situation demanded. In this way, you can say it was also a part of the greater northwestern policy of the British against Russia. So in this way, you can say Charles Napier was, at that time, he was consciously made appointed on the post of British Resident in Sindh. And Charles Napier picked up the quarrels with the Amirs of Sindh without any reason. And finally, on some pretext, he could annex the whole of the Sindh in 1843. And you can say, he had himself made a confession. Very shamelessly, you can say, we are not having a right to annex Sindh, but we will do it. And it will be a great piece of human rascality. अब इसने कहा कि मुझे सिंध को अनेक्स करने का कोई राइट नहीं था, लेकिन हम ऐसा करेंगे, और यह निश्चय ही बहुत उपयोगी और मानवोचित निचता होगी. What we are just doing, but it is very useful, but a great piece of human rascality. मतलब ये बहुत नीच काम है, लेकिन ये मेरे लिए उत्तम है. This is a statement. Anyway, so this is the annexation of Sindh. So some critics have told that it is the situation as if someone has been beaten in the street, and in return he started to beat his wife at home to release his, rage. So likewise, the British did the same thing. The British were beaten by Afghans, so they tried to take the retaliation, so beating Sindh. So in this way, this is the situation. So this is just the tale of the whole Afghan episode. And 6, Lord Hardinge, 1844 to 48. My friend, that is first Anglo-Sikh War. First Anglo-Sikh War, what is the time period here? Time period is 1845-46. Now, students, here my point is, Ranjit Singh was a powerful king, obviously you can see. And when the Sikh state was created, I have told you in 1764 in the first part of the 18th century, where a group of the senior Sikh leaders gathered at a place, I have told you, Vaheguru ki Khalsa, Vaheguru ki Fateh, and they could have created a separate Sikh state. So at that time, you can say, actually, there were different missiles just like the republics, you can say. Hangi missile, Sukarchakia missile, etc. So Ranjit Singh was from Sukarchakia missile. He was a very ambitious and powerful king. He became the king at a young age, but he started the expansion war. And he could expand his state fastly. It has almost taken a form of an empire. Because from river Satluj, he expanded up to Peshawar. And he could have annexed Multan, Kashmir, Peshawar, even Kangra, etc. vastly anymore. But Ranjit Singh was having one weakness. He always avoided a war with the British in spite of the fact that Ranjit Singh could maintain the second largest army in Asia after the British. But Ranjit Singh always avoided a direct conflict and confrontation with the British. So that proved costly for his successors. क्योंकि रंजीत सिंह के मरने के बाद सिख स्टेट को कमजोर वीक होना था क्योंकि उनका जो जागीरदार थे एक्शनलिज्म उनके कोर्ट में स्टार्ट हो गया तो रंजीत सिंह के बाद तो कमजोर होना ही था रंजीत सिंह could have chosen to fight against the British during his lifetime himself. He could have given a better reply to the British company because he was maintaining a very powerful force. But it didn't happen. And after Ranjit Singh, you can see, the factionalism started and there was situation like Ayaram Gairam, one ruler was established, one ruler was put on the throne. Another faction used to kill him, eliminate from him. So first came Kharak Singh, then came Manihal Singh, then came Sher Singh, and all were eliminated one by one. And then finally came Dalip Singh, whose mother Jindan, Rani Jindan, was a very ambitious woman, and Lal Singh was the prime minister. And it was the time that there started difference between the civilian government and military government. So civilian government was working under the impression if we have to provoke a war against the British, so the Sikh army would be busy in fighting with the British. And if the Sikh army could have defeated the British, one of the worst enemies would be eliminated. And if the Sikh army will be defeated, then at least it would be meek and submissive, and it would accept the authority of the civilian government. मतलब ये सोचते थे कि भाई हमारे तो दोनों हाथ में हमारा तो विन-विन सिचुएशन है, ब्रिटिश से वॉर को हम प्रोवोक करते हैं, फिर ब्रिटिश से ये जीत गए तो फिर अपनी बाजी होगी, और ब्रिटिश से हार गए तो कम से कम हमारे अथॉरिटी को तो माने. So they provoked the war, and finally the first Anglo-Sikh war occurred. But several battles took place at that time. The Battle of Buttiwal, Aliwal, Mudki, Firozshah, and finally there was the Battle of Sobra. And in the Battle of Sobra, I will come to know the British were finally, defeated. British defeated the Sikh party. Sikh were finally defeated, and then the Sikh had to sign a treaty, and that is known as the Treaty of Lahore in March 1846. Last name Treaty of Lahore. Kashmir was taken back from the Sikh. The Kashmir was annexed by the British, and Kashmir was sold to the hand of a Dogra chief, Gulab Singh, in 50 lakhs rupees. So my friend, it was the successor of the same Gulab Singh, that was Hari Singh, who later signed an instrument of accession with India, which I'll discuss with you later. So he was the successor of Gulab Singh. So in this way, the first Anglo-Sikh war, and then the Sikh state had to accept that is called the subsidiary alliance of the British. So subsidiary alliance was just accepted by the Sikh court. So Sikh court was now came under the indirect control of the British, and British delegate was stationed at Lahore. That was the Amritsar, that was the Sikh political headquarters of the Sikh, and a British regiment was established in Punjab. So in this way, the British was having the control. My friend, here I am going to discuss about the most aggressive Governor General, and you might have heard the name, and his name is Lord Dalhousie. And in Lord Dalhousie, you can say 1848 to 46. 1848 to 56. So Dalhousie was the, you can say, chief of all. So far as the matter of imperialist expansion is concerned, he was finally, he was the, emperor of all, or the king of all. So actually he took two different methods. One method was the method of war. My friends, in the method of war, you have to give certain example. In method of war, that is the one. And here you will come to method of war or use of power. We'll come to know in 1849 Punjab. In 1850 Sikkim. In 1852 Lower Burma. Here you are informed that the second Anglo-Burma war was fought under Lord Dalhousie. And finally, Berar, cotton producing region of Berar in 1853. Means Lord Dalhousie annexed some region through the method of war and use of power. For example, in 1849, he revived the second Anglo-Sikh war because actually Sikh was defeated in the first Anglo-Sikh war, but the Sikh didn't make any compliance with the new situation. And they were whiling from the bottom of their heart. So there was a British official, his name was Sher Singh, and his father, the governor of Hazara, Hattar Singh, revolted against the Amritsar court. And Sher Singh was moving to Multan with his army to suppress a revolt in Multan at the order of the Amritsar court. But in the meantime, his father revolted. So Sher Singh defected with the whole army to his father, the Hattar Singh. So thus, the Sikh were quite prepared to fight against the British. And finally, the second Anglo-Sikh war occurred, and Dalhousie gave a befitting reply. Several battles took place: the Battle of Ramnagar, the Battle of Chilianwala, and finally in 1849, this was the Battle of Guns, the Battle of Gujarat, in which the Sikh party was finally defeated, and the British annexed Punjab in 1849. The British didn't leave Punjab, but rather British annexed Punjab, underlining its economic and strategic importance in 1849. Then the British almost annexed Sikkim in 1850. The Dalhousie fought second Anglo-Burmese war against the Burmese, and in 1852 Lower Burma was annexed. Later I will inform you. Finally the Burma would be annexed by Lord Dufferin in 1886, the complete Burma. But the Lower Burma was annexed by Dalhousie, and then in 1853 Dalhousie could annexed Berar from Nizam, that is the cotton producing region. And finally, the method of ideology. ideology. What is the method of ideology? That is known as doctrine of lapse. What is doctrine of lapse? I have to make you clear. Actually, you people have to be mentally alert, and you'll find difficulty. Even tomorrow I will help you, no problem, because now time is almost commencing and time is nearing. So I have to depart after some minutes. So maybe if you are not clear, so I repeat again, so you will have no problem at all. Have the confidence. But मैं इसको repeat भी करूँगा. देखो doctrine of lapse है. So doctrine of lapse, the literal meaning is lapse, समाप्त. Actually, at that time, Dalhousie classified the Indian states in three categories. In the first category, there were states which were independent and friendly states to the British. Independent and friendly states were not expected to seek any permission for their successor. They were completely independent. In second category, there were such states which had earlier been subordinated under Marathas or Mughals, but now they have been subordinated to the British company. So such states were supposed to seek permission at the time of the coronation of their successor, but it was simply a formality, and this permission was easily sanctioned by the British. The second category में थे वो केवल अपने successor के लिए permission मांगते थे, तो permission उनको मिल जाने लगा. In third category, there were such states which had been created by the British investiture. मतलब इसी category में वैसे states थे जिनका creation ही British ने किया. And such states were not allowed to adopt any successor in case of discontinuation of their succession. Suppose if the king was facing the problem of infertility or whatever might be, he could not produce a male child and he was not having successor, so no successor will be allowed to him, and his power would be lapsed. So here the basic philosophy is that the supreme power which had earlier given to you the authority, the same supreme power had just withdrawn the authority now. So that is what the doctrine of lapse. Okay? Okay? So if on the basis of doctrine of lapse, he annexed 7 states: Satara, Jaipur, Sambalpur, Baghat, Udaipur, Jhansi, and Nagpur. 7 states were annexed. But this is the doctrine of lapse. But another doctrine he invented, that is the doctrine of misgovernance in case of Awadh. Because Awadh was already independent state, the friendly state, so Awadh could not qualify on this criteria. And apart from that, Nawab Walid Ali Shah, whatever his weakness, but he was having a band of successors, he produced so many sons. So for that he invented a new theory and method of ideology में doctrine of lapse, and another ideology is doctrine of misgovernance. On doctrine of misgovernance, Awadh was finally annexed. My friends, I have to discuss some question as well, and I have to discuss, but today the time is over, so I am stopping here. I will continue tomorrow as well. And these facts, these are not the facts. Very, you can say easily, you can set them into the mind, because how the changes are going on. Lord Hastings, how many? Tomorrow I will bring the questions. So be careful. You have to make a serious revision. Okay? So tomorrow I will see you.